Ciao guys. So, on air, coming at you again. Let's get the boys added. There's Danny. There's Jace. Could we make it smooth again?
Hello.
Oh, we've done it again. Straight on. No messing about.
On fire. So what, it's almost like we've done this before now.
I know, it's only been a month and a bit.
I finally cracked it.
How are we, boys?
Doing good. How are you? How's the tooth, mate?
All right, mate. All right. I actually managed to do a little bit of higher intensity cardio today without my face feeling like it was swelling up. So, yeah, blood pressure not going throughout my fucking face. So, yeah, good. All good. How about you guys?
Doing well, mate. Doing well. Teethache in a different fashion. I chose to have this teethache, so.
What you haven't done?
It's the Invisalign stuff.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's like pulling your teeth into different positions, which it's not great, but paid for it, so. My girlfriend went with the braces, and she's had like the 6-month braces, or no, the 4-month braces, mate. I could not even go there. Screws in the mouth, tying it up. Oh yeah. Wires. Not for me.
I don't like the dentist at the best of times. I've smashed my teeth out numerous times. I had to get them built back up playing rugby and stuff. It's just, why would you choose to have screws and stuff? And I don't know.
I'd rather have broken teeth than that. I really would.
Just some old snaggles. Anyway, boys. So lifestyle today, innit? Yeah. I think these were your questions, weren't they, Jace, from some of your clients? Yeah. Yeah, they're some of the ones that I got through in the group. And I posted out today, lifestyle or training, and 90% of people said lifestyle, so it seems like it could be a good topic. So I forgot.
90% of people said training, so it's a pointless conversation.
So I forgot, and I just asked all the guys about training. I thought we were doing training today, but I've got a load of lifestyle questions that I've got in the bank anyway.
Nice. No prep needed. You've got them written down anyway, so Danny, haven't you? Yeah. Always. You know what?
Professionals.
Private sport is like, will they have to get it done? I'm like, no, I don't reckon they will have. So I've got it written down, yes. Got a whole plethora of questions there, haven't we? So we are becoming professional. Let's check this out.
Microphone and everything.
Well, I'm going to be naughty here. I pinched one of your ideas, Nate. I've got a camera up here as well. I saw your little thing last week. I thought, that is a great touch.
Good, isn't it?
Great touch. Yeah.
Dual camera. I've got it on again tonight.
Tell you what, it was sneaky. I was like, how's done that? That's a great way. Is he sat there and his missus just recorded it all for him? Like, that would be amazing. That's why she was told to be quiet last week. Yeah. We got the dogs going on and he's got his missus just recording it.
Dying to make a comment, shaking like.
The first question from your clients, and it's a great question actually, it was how does sleep quality and the duration of sleep affect weight loss or they said fat loss? So let's throw it out to you two first. Like, how does sleep quality or duration affect fat loss? I think sleep's crucial. Sleep's crucial in loads of like physiological processes. It just sort of helps regulate things. Think of like metabolism or hormones. It's going to keep them running smooth. So having poor sleep or not enough sleep, so shit sleeping, not enough, it's going to start to disrupt the processes of metabolism and hormone production, which, take hormones for example. Lack of sleep is going to start to piss off leptin and ghrelin. That's your hunger and your satiety hormones. So you start to annoy them. Through the day, you're going to start to be craving a lot more. You're going to start to not be able to really control how much you eat or intake.
And also, I don't know about you, but well, maybe Nath, because he's had those mental prep sleeps, but you know when you're super tired, the last thing I want to do is eat a salad. The last thing I want to do is eat a salad.
Your body goes for fast-acting sources of energy, and normally that's through mass quantities of carbohydrate. You know, sugary, sweet, something with a quick hit. That's...
It's quite funny. I was on a review about 10 minutes ago, and I had to rush through it. Not rush through it, like it's about an hour's worth of review, but just to rush through it still. Yeah. And then the client was going, well, I've been hungry all week. I've been craving certain food choices, blah, blah, blah. Speaking about hormones, so forth. And at the end of it, they're like, well, I've been tired. I've been up all night with my kids every single night. And at the end of it, they went, shit, I know the answer. Like, this is why. It's like, yeah, there we go. And I think sleep is such an undervalued necessity more than anything else. I find it very difficult when you've got clients who do have children who wake in the middle of the night, maybe ill, maybe I don't have that issue, which I'm lucky to have. And maybe sometimes as coaches, if we haven't, we should have that empathy sometimes with that, maybe. Going like, how's it feel to be broken sleep in that sense?
I used to struggle with that when I was younger and still competing. However, I did struggle with sleep issues at that time.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I find that if my sleeping pattern's disrupted, I can feel an immediate effect. And to be fair, that sleep debt is unrecoverable.
It's fair to say that even power napping doesn't give you back that time that you've lost.
No. And for me, I can tell that I'm less insulin sensitive as well. So I can feel the difference, and I become less tolerant to certain foods and
just less tolerant, mate.
Just in general, yeah. Just tired, hangry, just all of the above. But no, without having sleep to sort of wipe out that fatigue from throughout the day, cortisol remains a little bit higher, so your stress hormone, and then you've also got the chronic buildup of that if you're not getting back into a good sleep pattern, which then disrupts your sleep even further, which then leads you to crave other foods. Vicious cycle, especially if you're looking to lose weight, because then you think, oh fuck it, I need this, I fucked up, and then you're stressed even more because you've had a load of bad food, and then the cycle continues, and you're just that negative spiral on the way down.
I think I've got sorry, Jason.
You've even got the if you're super tired, you're more likely to maybe miss the training session or not be able to put in the effort, the intensity that your training session might require to get a stimulus. So you're just like, well, and then it becomes a self-esteem thing, because then you're like, well, today's shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you even go smaller, micro than that. Then, like, let's go on your steps counts, Jace, that with your clientele. That if you don't want to move, like your movement decreases with poor sleep patterns. So, like, we go to the basic requirements that we don't even start to do. Mind training. And I was going to link on yours one, Nathan. That let's go. We crave certain food choices, but also regarding that because we're tired, we want to try and go high carbohydrate food sources, ones with quick releases of carbohydrates, which then has those peaks and troughs in the day of high levels of blood sugars. And then we're falling into that trap a little bit, aren't we, as well, by going, it's not poor choices of food, just choosing foods that we need the energy source with. And because we're peaking and troughing, we might have done that so much, we end up bonking at the end of the day. We don't sleep properly because we're bonked at the end of the day. We may have taken some caffeine in maybe after 2-3 p.m. That's kept us up later on because it stays in our system till at least 8 hours. Then we're like, wow, like that's what we're not sleeping for. So there's a vicious cycles everywhere: training modalities, nutrition modalities, and just basic requirements.
Yeah, and then because you're taking in caffeine and it's knocking out the your adenosine from the receptors, obviously that's impacting the level of regenerative sleep that you can get. So the next day you turn to that caffeine again, which is going to again add to that vicious downward spiral, isn't it?
constant. I said it once, I'll say it again, and I'll say it a million times. Sleep and calories are absolutely key for recovery. You boys got like a certain bedtime? That sounds really, it's a different podcast. You have a certain sleep
routine?
What have you got? What's your, this would be fun to compare. I'm at this point now where I read something from, who's the guy, the $100 million salesperson, what's his name?
Hormozi,
yeah. Never ever figured out how to say that last name. But I read something from him the other day. It was like, yeah, routines and everything are all great, but what happens when you're away? You're like, oh shit, yeah. So now I'm starting to reconsider my entire ritual, my entire routine. So it'll be interesting to go back and forth here and see what the routines are.
So I know a lot of guys will put a set structure in place, but I have kind of everyday tasks that you need to do before you go to bed. That becomes part of my routine, and that builds my structure. So we never watch telly in bed at all. That's a no-go at night.
TVs in the bedroom is just a bad idea.
Yeah. Like until very recently, we didn't even have one. Like sometimes over a weekend, we'll watch TV in bed in the morning with a coffee and have a relaxing start to the morning. But at night, no. So blue light is gone. We don't bother with that. About half an hour before we're even going to bed, start tidying up, whatever. We've got about 1,000 cushions on the sofa, so Leanne likes to set those up. Take the other 1,000.
Glasses kind of guy, or you just get rid of screens in general?
I do have glasses. I've got them there. I don't tend to wear them for watching the TV and stuff like that. You know, I find that my sleep quality is good anyway. I do track my sleep with Sleep Cycle, but yeah, normally it's about 20 minutes, half an hour before actually getting in bed, sorting stuff out in the house, making sure everything's locked up, take all the pillows off the bed, brush the teeth, go to the bathroom, get in. Leanne's still messing about a bit. I'll like either read a couple of pages or I'll just lie there and chill and just start to unwind naturally. Sometimes I like to do the, do you know, like the Navy SEAL relaxation technique? No. So basically, you try and mentally relax.
Pinch your earlobe and tap your knee or something.
No. So lying dead flat, you try and lengthen your body out as much as possible. One pillow only. Eyes shut, and then just try and systematically relax all of your muscles. So you consciously think about it, and then you take all the tension out of your shoulders, everything like that. And for me, that really helps, and I can get away like that anywhere if I do that.
One of the key things you said there, I think, is absolutely key to mention again, is you track your sleep. So
100%.
What gets tracked gets measured, right?
Yeah.
And one of the best ways to try and improve something is to track it and to basically measure it, really. What do you use to track?
Sleep Cycle.
Is that an app?
Yes. So literally free. Well, there's a free version, you get a paid version. I just use the free one because it's pretty good. And it'll graph your sleeping cycles, so deep sleep, REM sleep. It'll track any noises in the room. If you've got two of you using it as well, you can link your phone so it identifies who's who, which is really, really good. Leanne's just put there, loving the relaxation exercise combo. So we have ours set up and they're linked and it identifies who's who, which is really, really smart. The good thing about it is built in, there's some relaxation like music and stuff like that and stuff that'll help you get to sleep, but then it gives you a weekly review as well, and it'll give you a sleep score and then time in bed score and a sleep time in bed, an actual sleep score, and then actual time asleep as well. Because sometimes you think you're in bed and you think, oh yeah, I'm sleeping, but you're just kind of in that mid state where you're dozing. You're still,
body stage.
Yeah, I've slept 8 hours. Well, you've slept 6 because you've had 2 hours of tossing and turning like a cock. Like that's me. That's what I used to be like.
It sounds like you've got quite a simple but effective routine in place, and it's something you could actually do whenever you may travel.
Yeah.
We'll go to Danny, then we'll come back to mine, and I have a very extensive sleep routine, which I am now reconfiguring. But we'll head to Danny first. What have you got, Dan?
Yeah, I have to have a routine, and the reason why mine is a routine for is because 2 out of 7 evenings I work late. So for me to create a routine for every evening, it keeps some systematic behind it.
So just for everybody listening, Danny, how late would you consider you working late to be?
Yeah, good shout. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. finish.
Yeah. Right? So Tuesday, Thursday for me is 7:30, and then I've got like a half-hour drive home. So like we're probably getting to 8 o'clock, and then.
And that also depends on, let's go, seasons as well. Like in the winter, circadian rhythm and so forth has an effect on that. But because of that lateness, if I don't create a routine for the whole week, I feel out of sync on like a Monday, Tuesday, and so forth. So create a routine, and I also create like bookends to my day. So my evening has the same bookend as well as the morning has the same bookend, meaning that, but between that, if I feel that if my body knows I've got the same bookend in the evening, the same bookend in the morning, I've got that rhythm myself as well.
Yeah.
Now, for us, that we do watch TV before we go to bed, and for me, the reason why we watch TV before we go to bed downstairs as well is because, one, it's time for me just to sit with each other and have some quality time. 2, that switches me off from the hecticness from the whole day. And I feel I can then shut off from work. I feel I can, my phone switch off at 8 o'clock. It goes up to do not disturb. No one can touch me on there. Even my watch does. So I have no social media, no phone in that sense. The TV just gives you that routine to go, hey, like we're watching this program which has a routine. So I've got a bedtime routine. I've got a sleep routine. I've got a TV routine. And that's a full structure. Maybe diverting away from what you said, Jace, where like we still have that on holiday. Like we went to America in 3 weeks' time. We're going traveling. Like we still have the same bedtime routine. We still put Netflix or whatever on at a certain time, because I feel that's what we've created over the last maybe 3 to 4 years, which has helped. Like I would say my sleep is about 80 to 90% effective every single night. I'm never waking up tired, because I've created that element of that evening routine. Now,
would you classify what you're doing as routine or habits? So you've built habits that you can apply anywhere?
Yeah.
Because I kind of see mine very similar to yours. So like that 30-minute period before going to bed, we'll watch TV up until that point.
Yeah.
And then that half hour is just like faffing about, sorting stuff out, and then making sure everything's locked up, and then going to bed. So very similar.
And then, I think it is a habit, isn't it? Because then I've got, like, literally, I'm up at 4 a.m. So I'm up at 4 every single morning. So I have to be in bed at 9, minimally at 9 o'clock. If I'm not, then that's affected every single bit of my routine possible. And I'll probably say to myself, if I'm not in bed at 9 o'clock, the next day, psychologically, maybe, physiologically, I don't know which one it could be, but, like, my next day is affected 100%. I'll probably say psychologically more than physiologically, but then that might affect the same thing. Then my clothes are literally laid out the next day, laid out in order. My beard routine is laid out in order. Everything is laid out in order. So I'm going from step to step to step to step. And be it here, or be it where I am in a different country, it is always the same. So yeah, I reckon it's a habitual routine.
Yeah. So how do you manage on those late nights? Sorry, Jace. How do you manage on those late nights to be in bed and asleep by 9?
Nothing is in my way. Like, I am back through the door. Like, I could have the king waiting for me there, and it's like, listen, I'll see you tomorrow morning. It's okay. Like, I'll leave the for now. And there is a lot of diversion. Like if Esther knows that, like, she can't trouble me that evening, like, we're not going to chat about anything. Like, next day, we'll chat about the day before, but there's a little bit of stubbornness there, maybe. And I think I've created that in my life, that stubbornness of going, like, this is the way I know it works for me. I know it's going to benefit me. And I try and have my clients have a little bit of stubbornness as well. Because if you don't have stubbornness, that I feel that you have to be in control of stuff, don't you? And if you're in control of something, and you're trying to create a priority for you, and if that priority enables you to get better at what you're going to do, whatever better it is, if it's weight loss, fat loss, then sleep is my importance, and that's why I have understand that. So
again, if you can't turn up as your best self, you can't help anybody else either, can you?
Totally agree. Yeah, and I think that's where I'm at with my sleep. And I think we do create sleep patterns. We do create like lavender spray on the bed. We do have like the temperature in the room right. Not that we've got a temperature gauge, but the temperature in the room is correct. Like those little things that we feel is going to have that sustained effect on us. It might be a shower before bed, which I do have most days, and to create my body temperature right before I go to bed as well. All those small little routines, which are a small 1%, but a small 1% are real beneficial.
Yeah.
So I think we call it like sleep hygiene. Like, what's your sleep hygiene like?
Yeah. And you're not sacrificing time with Esther either, are you? You are. That's planned in and in as a routine. Like for me and Leanne now, because she's across in Sheffield for a certain portion of the week, we know every single night that she's there, we FaceTime. You know, and I don't. If we're doing that, I might watch 20 minutes of TV and I turn it off, and then we FaceTime, so we can catch up on the day, and then that's how we manage that as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
Chase, what's yours then?
I'm a little bit like you, Danny, in that mine's is like my sleep routine. So here's my sleep routine. It's not perfect, and I am reconfiguring it and taking bits out and putting things back in order to see the effectiveness it has on me. Now, I call mine a ritual because it's just I've always called it my sleep ritual, and it's something that I go through in order to go to sleep and sleep effectively. So it actually starts at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I cut out caffeine. That's when it starts. I now realised, just over like years of trial and tribulations, basically, that 7:30 is the last time that I can actually drink a substantial amount of water. Anything after that, and I'm up during the night. And I don't want to be up during the night. So once you get past those two things, it basically starts at 8:30. I go upstairs. I do a Go WOD, which is like a mobility app type thing. I don't do any major Go WOD stuff. Like I'll skip the things that consist of big, large motions and movements. I'll just do a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretching. Then I go curtains, so shut the curtains, full blackout, everything. Like no light, like even the bottoms of the doors have to be covered with like pillows and stuff. This honestly, you're gonna be like, this boy's nuts. So the bottoms of the doors covered with pillows. Doors are shut. I can't have like my wife likes to have a door open, and I can't. It needs to be shut, like handle closed, like locked. Not even closed too. Like it has to be shut. Like there's no in between. So then it's that, and then obviously the teeth routine and all that stuff. Then I go CBD oil, and you've got the diffuser on with like their spray and stuff and all that jazz, just to diffuse the air. I've got a nose tape, so a nasal strip, and then I tape my mouth shut. And then the problem starts, because I also like to be the last person to comment before we go to sleep. So my wife's been, yeah, Nate's laughing because he just knows my wife's a wind-up. And if my wife's especially a wind-up that day, she'll say something like, okay, good night, and I'll be like, and it hurts when you take it off because I have a mustache and a beard. So I'll be like, yeah, good night. Back on. Oh, right, okay, good night. Just let me have the last word. So yeah, I take my mouth shut just so I don't sleep with my mouth open. If I don't sleep with my mouth open, I don't wake up in the middle of the night with a dry mouth. My nasal tape just help with sort of nitric intake, better oxygen uptake. At least that's what I read, and it's something I do now. And again, it's one of those things now where I'm like, after reading the Hormozy thread, it was actually, I was like, right, if I take something out of this routine, can I still sleep as effectively? And the answer is actually yes. Yeah, I can. It's I don't have to do absolutely everything in that ritual in order to get a better sleep. So now it's like I'm kind of in this two mindsets of, do I keep the routine and the ritual as elaborate as I have it and make a separate one for when I'm away, or I just make a really simplified version, like, brush your teeth and go sleep.
So I'm interested, what could you take out?
Well, I've tried a few things. So the latest one I've done, and this has actually really helped with my morning routine and my morning ritual, which we'll get into another day, is sleeping with the curtains open and letting natural daylight come in through the morning. I didn't think I'd be able to do it because I'm like, you read everything and the littlest bit of light. Like, I think there's a Japanese study where it was in a sleep lab, and they put a laser pen under the duvet on someone's leg, and it disrupted their sleep just from having the light infracting on their leg, which I know, it's mental. And I was like, oh, that's it. Absolutely no light. So I've got like no alarm clocks. There's like no, sometimes you plug your phone into a wireless charger, like a little green light. I've got none of that. I've got nothing. Everything's been taken out. No TV, no plugs, no nothing. And like I said, I'd even cover the bottoms of the doors with pillows in order to not light through.
That's why you can't have anything after 7:30, mates. It's like fucking gladiators getting out of your bedroom.
That's what I'm saying. Like my routine, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it works for me. Like, I sleep like a god. But yeah, so I've been sleeping with the curtains open. The blinds are still shut, but the natural light coming through in the morning just makes it way easier to wake up. Some of the other things, it's taking the nose tape off, mouth tape off, simple things like that. I think I've worn mouth tape now for maybe 2-3 years, to the point where I think my jaw just naturally sits shut. So that's kind of trained into me.
What time is wake up for you boys usually?
So I've got three rules in the morning. They're 5, 5, 5. It's get up in the 5 o'clocks. So anywhere in the 5 o'clock. It could be 5:59 if I needed it. But it could be 5:01 if I didn't need it. And then it's 500 milliliters in the water, and then 5 by 9, as we know. That's my B5s. But yeah, somewhere in the 5 o'clock region.
See, I've retired from all early mornings because I've done it. I've done the early starts for that long. I used to be up at 4, like Danny, for years and years and years, and now it's like between 6 and 7.
That's the goal, Nick. That's the goal.
Yeah. It is. It's hard, Nick, because I read again for maybe the 4th time that the 4-hour body and the 4-hour working week, and about top entrepreneurs, what time they wake up, what they do first thing in the morning before anything else, and like circadian rhythms in terms of like movement and so forth. And I always feel better when I'm waking up like 7, 6. When I'm getting up at 4, like now it has become a routine. I get up at 4. I have to get up at 4. I can't choose not to, because I own the gym at the same time, so I've got to be up at that time, and then choose to do clients then, but I also choose to finish my day really early sometimes, because I finish clients off at maybe 11 o'clock. So those days are great when those mornings are early, but it's quite weird, like what is optimal for people. Obviously, for us, that we're all different, aren't we? Like, I'm at 4, like you said, 5 or 5. There's no way, Jose, you're getting up early anymore.
I wake up naturally between 6 and 7. So for me, I just kind of, unless Leanne sets an alarm, I set one just kind of as a precaution, just in case I do oversleep. But other than that, I'm naturally waking at that time anyway, which I enjoy more, and I feel more refreshed if I wake up naturally rather than that harsh alarm.
Yeah, and it made me laugh the other day because I sat down and we create like a sleep cycle like app for our clients at the moment, and we wrote down kind of like what would happen in the evenings, and then what could you do to help you go to sleep pre-post, and what would you do when you wake up. Putting all the studies together, putting all the data together, like, if you did what everyone told you to do, you'd probably wouldn't be able to get to sleep, and you probably wouldn't have time to do anything in the morning. What you expect to do, like get up before sunlight, go and get this walk done. I was like, sometimes I go, okay, what's right for you? What's right for your client? Like, what can they do in the morning? And I think based on the step thing that you said, Jay, it's like some of my clients can smash that out of the water and loving it at the moment. Sometimes, like, I literally can't do it. It's like, okay, cool. If you can't, it's not a problem. But the ones who succeed from that are really reaping the benefits. But the ones who can't reap the benefits different ways as well, don't they? So, like, what fits, what works. And that comes on to the point you said, Jay, it's like, what do you take out? But what don't you take out? Like, what works? What don't you have to take out as well?
I think we've got to look at it. Everybody is still an individual. You know, everybody's lifestyle, working patterns, you know, partners' working patterns, kids, sports teams, groups, they all have a different sort of plan throughout the week. And sometimes that might mean, like last year when I was playing rugby, I wouldn't finish rugby training until 9 o'clock on a Tuesday and Thursday. And by that point, I'm stimulated to high heaven. Again, I've got to drive home, got a shower. You know, normally I like to eat afterwards as well because I'd be shattered, 2.5 hours of training. And then sit there like that going, right, go to sleep. And it just doesn't work, does it? So you have to work with what you've got and what your sort of weekly routine and diary looks like, don't you?
Yeah, I linked to what you said, Nate, before. Like, I have used the Headspace app quite a lot.
Yeah.
I use that in the day. Like some breathing routines, like before a heavy day. So I was going to get home from my coaching, then I'm going to be working some like online coaching clients. I actually sit down and go, right, okay, what do I need to do now? Like, I need to get away from just life in general. Like, let's just understand my body. So you said about the Navy SEALs routine of like feeling your body, knowing your body is. I did this on a seminar at a high school a few years ago, a year ago. I got them to do the Headspace app and just understand their breathing patterns and say what it felt to breathe. We did half an hour straight, and the guys at the end were like, how long were we out for? What were we doing for that period of time? And the teacher was like, guys, you've been for half an hour. Like, none of you even blinked. And he was like, do you ever do that? Do you ever like actually sit there and think, like, we actually understand the way we breathe properly, or how our body responds to things? Like, take ourselves into the present and understanding, because there's so much shit going on, like natural light, like you said, in terms of like adrenaline release. Like, just relax a little bit. And maybe we can't sleep, we just don't relax.
Yeah, a lot of my guys I've started to program that have been struggling sleeping, especially when it's been really, really hot and stuff like that. A little bit of sort of like zero tech time, dark therapy, but it might just be the fact that you're led on your bed for 10 to 15 minutes with zero input. You know, if you need to, earplug, sponge earplugs in, so that you kind of just dull in the senses and just becoming more aware of your own body, and you know, and that helps as well.
Totally. And that's what I like. She knows a deep, stimulating conversation, if I provide that at all, but a deep, stimulating conversation, like, I don't need that at 9 a.m. At 9 p.m. Like, it's not going to benefit me at all. It's not going to benefit her at all. Like, let's just relax.
I'm not worried about a conversation at the end.
Jace definitely isn't giving it because he's just like, nah, fuck this, bosh, taping the mouth up. You've got no chance.
Don't talk to me.
But if you've got a partner or something, like, it's good to get them to understand what you're trying to do, though, as well.
Yeah, you need them on board. You need that support. Otherwise, you know, you get people who talk to you when you've got mouth tape on. Drives you down the bed.
I think you got the best one there. It's like, when you don't live in your house, it's even better, it's even easier. As long as they do come back, then that's the main thing.
Do you know what? I find it easier to sleep when Leanne's here or when I'm there.
Okay.
You know, I think it's just that you find comfort in your person, don't you?
Yeah. Sure.
And it's relaxing in itself. When I'm on my own, that's when I kind of can end up being led awake, just thinking, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Should probably be asleep now.
Oh, and then you go through the worst cycle in the world is when you look and you're like, oh, I should be asleep. And then you start stressing out because you're not asleep. And then you're like, oh, now I need to be up in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, now I need to be up in 4 hours. Like, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. You get up and you're feeling shit.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I think concluding that, I don't think we move on to anything else yet, because I think the other ones could be as deep as what we're just going into now.
I was going to say.
I think that sleep quality is... Well, it's a study out there, isn't it? They said that sleep is the number one factor for weight loss over anything else, over nutrition, over training, over exercise. Like, so I think that when clients come to us and that's something we want to speak about, I think it's that educational front of going, like, why is it important? Like, what if they see the importance of that and the buy-in, understanding what it's going to do for your day, how it's going to affect your day, your choices, decision making, your cognitive functionality. Once you start to understand that as a client, I think that can surpass anything else that you do with a client. It really can.
Yeah,
I think you've got such an emotional hold and power over everything that you do. How you react, how you choose to react in the moment of certain things. Like, do you pick up the salad or do you pick up the bag of Monster Munch?
Yeah.
What's the fastest, simplest one? Which one? Like, you're tired, you're hungry, you're like, I want this one. That's fast. It's going to be easier. The easier option, and it just becomes a hold on everything throughout your day. You know. Then you can't be bothered moving, so then you sit in front of the TV, which is then it's another vicious cycle. You feel crap for sitting watching TV, then you get a bit of self-loathing, and you're like, I should have got up. Why didn't I train today? I'm so annoyed I didn't train today. And then now you're stressed, which leads us to next week. We'll talk about that later. And then the stress comes, and then you just become chronically adverse to everything.
Yeah.
It just becomes such a problem.
Yeah, that sleep anxiety just starts to build and build and build as well, doesn't it? And like we said, it gets worse and worse the more you focus on it.
Yeah. And like your clients just said there, Nathan, on the nose.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Like, sleep's better when just working nights. And that could be an issue, can't it? Like, someone coming in late and waking you up, and like, I've got a client who actually has a separate bedroom to their partner. Like, they actually sleep in separate rooms, and not for any other reason apart from their sleep patterns. They want to have their illuminated light to wake them up in the morning. They want a different pattern than their partner does. Their partner snores, has affects their sleep patterns, and like you know what? It's benefited them like tenfold. So again, if their partner understands that, there's no other reason behind it apart from that. Then they're cool.
Yeah. I think the world or society as a whole has normalized things has disnormalized things that should just be normal. Like, why can't you sleep in a different bed if you've got different goals at that point in time? Why?
I've got a really early start tomorrow morning. Yeah. I know you haven't. I don't want to wake you up in the morning. Yeah. What's wrong with that? There isn't anything wrong with that, is there?
If anything, it's almost a better relationship builder, right? Because then you're showing empathy and you're showing that you care and you're showing, like, actually, this isn't, like, I don't want to disturb you, or, like, because you'll be feeling like shit in the morning, so I'm just going to go sleep over there.
Oh, man, I used to sweat loads on photo shoot prep. Like, I don't know what, I used to sweat loads. My bed was wet, like, literally wet.
And then you used to sweat as well.
Yeah.
and it's good coat thing. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm just going to stay in here. Like, I don't need to. Like, no, I'm going to disrupt you. Yeah. Like, it's not about me. It's about you here at this point. And, so many different variables that have an effect. And it's cool, and I know that, like, we all buy into this massively into the sleep 100%. And I think that I know that you do, Jace, like, have an overview of, like, this chat we've done. This could be hours worth. It really could.
It could, yeah. I mean, like, we could talk even more deeply about why JC's taping his nose, why JC's taping his mouth. Yeah. You know, there's huge benefits. You know, physiologically for that as well, you know, facial structure changes and stuff like that, that is another, you know, live in it, just in itself. Interesting though, what was it that triggered you to start doing that, Jace?
So I read the book Why We Sleep, which, if you haven't read the book, don't, because you'll freak out and all you want to do is sleep. I read the book Why We Sleep, and basically it goes into all the different factors as to